all aboard for the American Football Express, leaving now from this station.
444. 444.
Pressure's big, he's chased, he's on the run.
I don't think he made it. He didn't make it.
And now the ball does come loose. Fumbles. Now he runs with the ball inside the 5. Touchdown.
This week in the NFL, the season ended early for Joe Theismann of the Washington Redskins. He broke a leg against the New York Giants and is out for the year. The Denver Broncos came up with a miracle to beat the San Diego Chargers in overtime. The New York Jets achieved the biggest score in their history, 62 points against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the Los Angeles Rams ran into one of the shocks of the season, beaten 30-14 by Atlanta. Good evening. As you'll have gathered, it's been one heck of a week in the National Football League. But before we look back on that assortment of triumphs and disasters, we've got a game that has to be seen at length to be believed. The Chicago Bears at the Dallas Cowboys. According to their coach, Mike Ditka, the Bears are a hard-nosed, rock'em, sock'em team that know how to have fun. And tonight, we'll get the chance to find out what he means. The Bears have won their first 10 games with an irresistible blend of ruthless defense and imaginative offense. And though their star is unquestionably running back Walter Payton, one man has made a bigger impression on the NFL scene this year than even Payton himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the undefeated Chicago Bears, please welcome William Refrigerator Perry.
When you consider that his major contributions to the history of the NFL are a touchdown catch of 4 yards and a touchdown run of 1, William Perry is as unlikely a sporting hero as America has ever come up with. But then those aren't the statistics that have the nation falling over itself. The vital ones are 302 pounds, 22 stone, his phenomenal weight, and the reason why William Perry has been known since his college days as the Refrigerator.
Said he's dangerous, oh, man, extremely dangerous. That day he walked into my life, he caught me with my guard down, guard down. I thought it was love at first sight, then he started to play around.
He was a guy who was an underdog. He weighed 300 pounds, he was too fat. Suddenly he turns out to have this tremendous athletic ability. He's almost a Walter Mitty, although much larger.
I knew he would probably be super, but not this super, no way.
Of course, Perry does have a variation on the normal operation of a refrigerator. If you're on the opposing team and he closes the door, your lights go out.
Every week I would weigh in around from 313 on down. They set a set weight. You know, right now I'm at a 304, 302. You know, right there, holding it right there, and just doing what they asked me to do.
Perry was born in South Carolina 22 years ago, and even when he was little, he was big.
When he was born, he was 13.5 pounds, and then from then on, he just grew bigger and bigger and bigger. He loves food. He loves macaroni and cheese, fried chicken, sweet potato pies. It's not too much that he doesn't eat.
He loved to cook cakes. That was his main dish. If we wanted cake baked, we said, William, will you bake us a cake? No problem.
When he tired of home cooking, he sampled other kitchens, where he is remembered with awe.
Chicken, a whole bunch of chicken.
He loved apple dumplings.
At one stage in college, his weight was up to 370 pounds, 26 stone. But when he became Chicago's #1 draft pick this year, he knew the days of drinking 48 cans of beer after a game were over. When you joined the Bears, they told you had to lose a lot of weight. Has that been tremendously difficult for you?
No, not at all. I'm right where I'm supposed to be, with no difficulty, and everybody's happy, where I'm at, and so I'm playing.
Are there any fines if you don't make that weight?
Yes, I lose money if I don't weigh in like I'm supposed to.
For his shape, Perry is an excellent all-round sportsman. He plays basketball well and runs 40 yards in 5 seconds. He was drafted by the Bears as a defensive tackle, and he has 3 sacks to his name so far this year. But in week 6, the offensive master plan was devised.
I was doing the San Francisco week. We was practicing, and Coach Dick asked me did I want to play offense. So I said, whatever to help the team to win, I'll do it. So he took me up on that. So I ran a little bit in the San Francisco game. Then it just took over with the Green Bay game Monday night and so on.
In that Green Bay game, he exploded through for his first touchdown. And soon afterwards, he came up with such a block that Walter Payton was able to saunter through for one of the easiest scores of his life. What's it like having William Perry in the backfield with you?
It's a beautiful thing to hide behind. It's just like having a big wall up there, and you're behind the wall. Nobody knows what you're going to do until you come from behind it. It's beautiful.
What has he done for the team this year?
And he's added his own personality and blended it in along with the melting pots of crazies that are on this team, and it's done real well.
Did you expect him to blossom so early as a rookie?
Well, we were hoping it would, but John, it's like anything else. You got to get him on the football field and let him play, and since he's been on the field playing, he's done a good job.
It was in the return game with Green Bay that the famous touchdown catch came, and the USA could contain itself no longer. William Perry was a star. Sports shows, news shows, chat shows, he's in constant demand. Suddenly, he can command as much as $50,000 for a 30-second commercial. This refrigerator is hot. America now waits with bated breath for Perry's next show-stopping play.
He can throw the football.
Whatever, he plans to make the most of his success while he can.
Do you like all of this attention?
Oh, it's fine, but after a while, all of it, it'll die down, and it loses its effect after, just like it came.
John Smith with William Perry, who incidentally has 7 brothers and 4 sisters. None of them, I gather, bigger than he is. Well, this week, Perry and the Bears went to Dallas, knowing that victory would ensure them of a place in the playoffs a full 5 weeks before the end of the regular season. But they were without first-choice quarterback Jim McMahon. He has a shoulder injury. And they were well aware that no Chicago team had beaten Dallas since 1971. We join play with under 5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Dallas have a 1st down and 10 at their 34-yard line. Our commentators are John Madden and Pat Summerall.
White has to scramble. To and fro. Fumble. Bears get it. They fumble. It's loose. Gary Fensick had a handle for a minute. And finally the Bears do come up with the ball. Mike Richardson made the hit that caused it, and Fensick finally came up with the ball.
That was some play by Mike Richardson. First of all, he made the tackle, then he knocked the ball out, then he recovered the ball, then he fumbled the ball, and finally Gary Fensick came up with it. Good effort here by White, finds Renfro here. Now watch Richardson come in. Crap, he knocked the ball out with his left hand. Now he comes here and picks it up. Heck of a play. He gets hit. Whap, the ball goes out right into Gary Fensick. Bears ball, pretty good position.
45-yard line of Dallas. 1st and 10, and here's Payton hammering right side. Got a yard, that's all. Ed Jones was the first man to make the hit with a help from Mike Hegman.
You know what I wish, and you can't do it, but it's a still thing. I wish his defenses could play each other, because these defenses are 2 tough hombre defenses.
2nd down and 8. The Bears are at the Cowboy 43.5-yard line. Fuller starts Suey in motion. to Payton. Payton over the left side. The whole thing sort of moves forward, and Payton got about 5 before Randy White and Eugene Lockhart bring him down. 3rd down and 3. This is Gentry in motion this time, and Fuller retreats out of the shotgun. Gentry is open. Not to be. Dennis Thurman was the nearest Dallas defender. Randy White put the heat on.
Well, you can see again the 4-0 defense of the Cowboys. Clinkscale out here. Now they're not coming on the all-out blitz. They get up there, they fake it. They're just bringing 4. Now, the guy in this situation, although they still got there, didn't they? But they were trying to get the ball to Gentry. That's what Mike Ditka was saying. He's going to be our 4th receiver today.
So the Bears get the turnover, but can't take advantage of it. This is Buford back to punt. Bill Bates standing back at about the 10.
Yeah!
See where they mark it. At the 2.5. Buford gets it out of bounds.
Come on! We're number 1. We're going to beat those Bears.
You know, we always talk about that 4-0 defense of the Cowboys. Now, what they do is here's a defensive back, here's one, then they put a safety here, then they put another corner here that would cover the back out of here. This is what the Bears look like, shotgun. Then they have another safety here, then they have a defensive back here. So 4-0 means 1, 2, 3, 4 defensive linemen. Here's 3 defensive backs, 3 more on this side, 1 in the middle. So it's 4 defensive linemen and 7 defensive backs, and that's the defense that the Bears are going to have to solve today.
Thus far, they haven't been able to do that. White deep in his own end zone. The ball is batted up in the air. The Bears come up with it. Touchdown, Chicago. Richard Dent was there who batted it away. And Dan Hampton scored the touchdown. Beg your pardon. Hampton batted it away, and Dent came down with a football.
That's what it was. You know, Hampton had been getting close to Danny White on other plays. Remember that one that he threw to Cosby and said, I wonder how he got through there? Well, watch him on this one. He's coming from the left end. You see, he just takes that whap, knocks Cooper out. Watch him get up in the air. He taps that ball up in the air, knocks it way up. Now, Dent is right on the goal line. He catches it, makes a little spinner, and backs into the end zone. But Hampton had been getting close to Danny White.
Butler will attempt the extra point with Fuller holding. And the Bears take advantage of the break. And it's 7-0 Chicago with 1:48 left to play in the first quarter.
Early in the second quarter now, Chicago have the ball at the Cowboys' 48-yard line.
3rd down, passing situation, but they don't pass. Fuller rolls out, chased by White. Gets to Reitman, and Reitman gets inside the Dallas 25, about the 23. Gain of 28, an excellent play by Steve Fuller.
But the thing is, you know, once you fake to Walter Payton, once Walter Payton's going to come across left to right, that draws a whole group. You see the group that it drew? Now he can come out and bootleg. He has Randy White chasing him. That makes you a little nervous, but he still zipped it in there to Tim Reitman as Michael Downs dove by. But did you see the effect that the fake to Payton had? Payton goes in there and boom, all that defense stays with him.
And the Bears have it in good shape. 1st and 10 at the Dallas 20. They already lead 7-0, and they're on the move again. McKinnon was the man in motion. Outside in that direction, intended for McKinnon from Fuller. Incomplete.
That is his quarterback that he would like to have in there.
That's McMahon.
Yeah. That has a bad shoulder.
Fuller is 3 out of 9. Just hit that big one to Reitman a minute ago to get him down on his chase. Pitch out to Payton. Payton chased and hammered by Ron Fellows. He got a couple of yards, but Fellows up in good position and made a good tackle. 3rd and 8. Cowboys showing blitz. They got everybody up there, and here they come. All over Fuller. Fumble. They're going to say he was down. Downs tried to pick it up. He couldn't. Cowboys were in a hurry. Victor Scott was all over Steve Fuller before he had a chance to do anything.
I tell you, let's watch what happened. Victor Scott's going to come right up the middle here. He's unblocked, and he gets to Fuller before Fuller can set up. Watch him straight up the middle. You see, unblocked right there. He gets him. The ball comes out as he's going down. Now, I think what the referee did was he called that in the grass, but he called it awfully quickly.
Fuller will hold for the rookie Kevin Butler. 1 out of 4 from his range. This one's going to be 44 yards. Butler hammers and hits. And it's 10-0 as Butler hammers it home from 44 yards out. The Bears lead the Cowboys 10-0.
The Cowboys' troubles continued on their next drive as Danny White was hit and concussed. He left the field for treatment and was still sidelined on Dallas's next possession.
Hogeboom is still the Dallas quarterback. Danny White again had a slight concussion. Here is Otis Wilson all over him, and there's the interception. Mike Richardson, touchdown Bears. A return of 36 yards, and the pressure is really what did it.
The pressure is what's been doing it all day. I mean, you talked about a group. This Bears defense comes and gets after you. I mean, there's been guys in Danny White's face all day. Now it's Gary Hogeboom. Again, no one blocks the outside linebacker. Again, Otis Wilson. And then he's just throwing it up there. Richardson was just standing there. I don't think Hogeboom saw Richardson. I don't think he saw a receiver. I don't think he saw anything except number 55.
About the first thing he's going to see is the extra point. Richardson, 36-yard touchdown, interception return. The Bears lead. Kevin Butler for the extra point. Fuller holding. Butler's good. It's 17-0. The Bears over the Cowboys.
You know, that was the second time that Otis Wilson came, and it was the second time that they didn't get him blocked. This one, they come up with an interception. We see Richardson here, no receiver in the area unless it's Renfro late. And on the play, Danny White got hurt. That was, again, Otis Wilson putting the pressure.
Cause for concern for Tom Landry, and justifiably so.
I think his biggest cause for concern has to be getting that strong side linebacker, Otis Wilson, blocked, because it's not that Wilson has made, beaten a blocker. They just haven't had anyone on him.
Butler will kick off. Lines a shot. Robert Levette fields it about a yard deep to the end zone. Levette had some room for a moment, gets outside the 30. Knocked out of bounds by Sean Gale. Return of 30 by Levette. Cowboys will take over just inside their own 30. And Gary Hogeboom comes back as the quarterback. Danny White leaving with ice still on his neck.
I think he's probably trying to get the cobwebs out of there. And I don't know how much fun this is for a backup quarterback when he's getting this kind of pressure.
For any quarterback. Hogeboom steps up into the pocket. Going deep to Tony Hill. Intercepted again. Richardson comes up with the interception. Leslie Frazier, beg your pardon. Frazier was back there with him. Frazier still on his feet, still going, and the Bears take over at their own 48.
Hey, the Bears are in a position to put this thing on ice right now. Hogeboom's just trying to get a big play, trying to throw deep to Tony Hill. Overthrows him. There's Leslie Frazier. Tony Hill can't make the tackle there, so Frazier's going to gain about 30 more yards. There's not many tacklers on this Dallas Cowboy offensive team, and they don't get him down until he gets close to midfield. I'll tell you, the Bears really have the Cowboys going backward. They're really whipping them every way you can be whipped from every direction.
4 turnovers now for the Cowboys at the return of 33 yards by Frazier. The Bears leading 17-0. They give it to Peyton. Peyton is hammered. by John Dutton after a gain of about 1. You certainly can't fault, if you're a Dallas fan, you can't fault the Dallas defense. They've done a good job. It's just that the Bears have intimidated the Cowboys offense.
I'll tell you, they have. And now the Bears are in a position that, you know, the McMahon being out, their quarterback being out, is kind of academic, because with a 17-0 lead, they're going to be able to control the ball. You know, to have that type of offense that they're really geared to play today.
And they've been outstanding in the second half. If you're looking ahead, they've really been outstanding on defense in the second half. Second down. Fuller back to throw. Has a man, Suey wide open. Suey down the sideline. Suey to about the 16 and out of bounds there. Ron Fellows knocked him out of bounds.
I'll tell you, that's something. Again, that comes from Walter Payton. Watch. Fake to Walter Payton. Make the Cowboys think and run. Here comes Dexter Clinkscale, the strong safety up. Suey, who you would think would be a blocker, boom, he runs right by Clinkscale and up the sideline. See, that was a fake, and the guy that they wanted to fake was Walter Payton. The guy they wanted to affect was Dexter Clinkscale to get Suey open.
They affected the whole Cowboy defense with that maneuver. First down, Bears there at the Dallas 16. Chicago leading 17-0. And on the move again. Fuller to Wooly Galt. It'll be first and goal at about the 2. Fellows on the tackle. Fuller getting better and moving everything. And here comes William Perry into the offensive lineup, the refrigerator.
I'll tell you, he's all of our heroes. We needed something like this. You know, I mean, we got, you know, there's a group, Bad Bodies and so on. You know, you kind of hang around. It's always been the skinny guys getting all this stuff. We need a big guy. You know, get those jerseys up there, get them in the backfield, let them score a touchdown, let them block. Peyton tells them where to go. Fuller's telling them where to go. Look, they're switching. Uh-oh, they fouled it up.
He didn't know where to go.
The refrigerator's been playing too much defense. They got out there, they got the refrigerator delivered, they just didn't know which wall it went on. You see that? He was playing fullback, then he went to halfback, then back to fullback. They got him into place, they just didn't know where to put him.
Notice he didn't come over to the sideline.
No. He said, let that brain trust over there. Let that Mike Ditka, he'll talk it over, and Fuller, and let's watch it again. He knew he was going to be in the backfield. Yeah. They said, where do we put this guy? Peyton says, let's put him over here. Let's put it right over here. We'll just put... Fuller says, no, I don't want it over there. I want you over... Put it back over here. Yeah, put it back here. Well, I don't like it there either. Let's just take a timeout and get this deal straightened out. The Cowboys in this situation used 2 middle linebackers, Eugene Lockhart and Steve Diassi. And I think they're probably one of those guys are going to be the guy that takes on the refrigerator. I would like to see Randy White back there. I mean, that would be one that the collision would measure like 93.
On the Richter scale, right?
On any scale, yeah, just on a scale. Just register 93.
Might register more than that. That's Peyton in motion. And they hand off to Perry. Perry rolls to about the 1. Eggman tripped him up. And he's about a foot shy of that touchdown.
What did Perry do to the 1? He rolled to the 1. Watch him. He has a good start. Good, quick start. He has a little extent. I think he rolled in the end. Oh, no, the ball. See the ball's in his left hand. Look, William, put the ball in your right hand, you would have had a touchdown. He had his ball in the left hand, and he left the ball outside the end zone.
William Perry is back there with Peyton again. Let's see what he does. And Fuller goes over the top for the touchdown. And the Bears move out ahead 23-0.
I know one thing. We were talking to Jim Covert, the left tackle, and he said when Perry's on my side, the only thing I do is get low. There's Covert. He's number 74. Perry was on his side, and Covert did get low. Look at that. He's learning now. You walk off the field, 5 right-handed, 5 left-handed, 5 here, double 5.
There's Jim Covert.
He was going to get low. You know, the guy that had to take on Perry on that play was Michael Downs.
We'll show you that in just a minute. Kevin Butler for the extra point with Fuller holding. And it's 24-0. Chicago over Dallas. Here he goes.
That's Perry. He's going to dive off here to the left side. He doesn't have to make a lot of contact. He just gives old Downs a little hit, but he just spins right around. Downs away. Where'd the ball carrier go? Well, it's just a quarterback sneak, Michael.
Although Danny White played at the start of the third quarter, he was soon hit and again had to go off with concussion. Chicago's offense took the field and have the ball at their 36-yard line.
3rd and 14. Fuller fires complete. Dennis Gentry gets it out of bounds, but the Bears get a first down. Knocked out by Dennis Thurman.
And there was another block there by Walter Payton on that one. It was on Jim Jeffcoat. Watch him here again, and this is the thing that lets Fuller. You see he's coming flat. Watch Payton come in there. He gets Jeffcoat down, and right behind him there was where Fuller completed the pass. Covert came in and said, hey, that's my guy. I missed him. Thanks, Walter. Let me give him one shove here.
First down Bears. They move into Dallas territory. Dallas 42.5-yard line. 4:35 left to play in the first half. Here's Payton. Randy White on the stop. And that should put him close to that 1,000-yard deal.
I tell you, it was right in there again behind Jim Covert going against Jim Jeffcoat. And we see Payton blocking, and now we see, of course, what he does when he carries the ball. Watch here. You see Covert working there again on Jeffcoat. He just gets right in there on the left end behind his big tackle. And, of course, that gives him the 1,000 yards.
An NFL record for the 9th time he's done it. 2nd and 7. And Payton lines up behind Suey. Both of them behind Fuller. Payton again. Here comes the reverse. Payton fakes it, hits it, throws it. Reitman has the first down inside the Dallas 10. Fellows back there. It'll be 1st and goal, Cowboy. Talk about doing everything. He did everything on that play.
Well, on this series, and if anyone doesn't think Walter Payton is the greatest back that ever lived, I think you just watch this series. We see him blocking, we see him running, and now what else do you have? And he said, well, let's throw one. Watch this little fake here. He puts the ball out, and then he brings it back, puts it on his hip, starts to run. Has a guy hanging on him, Lockhart hanging on him, and still gets the ball downfield to Tim Reitman.
1st and goal Bears, and he has done, indeed, everything in this last series. Block, run, throw, fake. What else is there? Fuller's pass intended for McKinnon incomplete.
I was just going to say the one thing that he could do is he could catch one now down here on the goal line from the refrigerator.
That's some tough chewing gum he's got.
And it'll get faster if he scores here.
2nd down and goal. Payton hammers to about the 2 before John Dutton scatters some bodies.
Even the fans start to cheer here for the refrigerator. The refrigerator gets it at home and he gets it on the road.
Suey comes out along with McKinnon and Galt. Frederick goes in, an ex-Cowboy, and he will be lined up at one of the tight end spots. Frederick is inside this time. The refrigerator is back with Payton. The refrigerator is motion. Refrigerator block. Payton tries to get in the end zone and doesn't do it. Eugene Lockhart was up quickly, and now the flags go down again.
I'll tell you, that was Everson Walls taking on the refrigerator.
Illegal use of the hands, number 72. He was pushing the runner.
A violation on the refrigerator.
Refrigerator said, I'm playing defense. I can use those hands. Say, not here. Watch. He goes in motion. Looks nice. Here comes Walls. He comes up. Walls goes underneath him. Clinkscale goes underneath him. Now he's going to push. He's going to help his guy. He didn't push him. He picked him up.
They tried to carry him in.
He was going to pick him up and throw him in. What do you mean, push? When you weigh 310 pounds, you don't push. But I didn't do anything. I was just picking up my guy.
For once, the refrigerator's empty.
Yeah, Peyton hadn't had that done to him. I mean, he carried it, he blocked, he'd thrown it. He hadn't had anyone throw him in the end zone.
It's third down. Fuller, chased by Bates, throws the ball. The fans, of course, want intentional grounding, but they're going to say that Bates had Fuller.
And so the referee is marking it right there where Bates had him. So I'm sure that he called it in the grass. And, of course, that was fourth down.
And the fourth sack.
Well, of course, that brings up fourth down.
That brings up fourth
down because they had the penalty on that
right.
play, so they played it over. So that was third down.
So Butler comes in with Fuller holding. Butler for the extra point, for the field goal, beg your pardon. So this will be 47 yards. And good again. 46 officially. Butler is 2 for 2. And the Bears are up 27-0.
Into the fourth quarter, and Dallas's next drive lasted just 3 plays before they punted to Chicago, who now have possession.
Third down and 3. Peyton breaks another tackle. Peyton still on his feet. Breaks all the tackles. Peyton inside the 5 to the 3. Is he something?
I'll tell you, he's so much of something that even this Dallas crowd is cheering him. That's some Bear fans right there, but this whole crowd, as he was running, was saying, hey, we're not only watching a Bear team that we're trying to beat, but we're watching one of the greatest players that ever played this game. Watch him. I mean, he just runs right through a tackle. Hegman had him. He just runs. Then he makes a move. Then he limp legs. Then over. Under. Then he puts the speed on. Down the sideline. Waits for a block. Here's Dennis Thurman trying to take him on. Finally gets caught from behind there as Thurman holds it off. But that's a great run. I mean, guys flying off his body, giving moves.
19 rushes, 100 yards, a 6th straight 100-yard plus game. Another NFL record. First and goal from the 3. Everything is out of sync on this one as Fuller just throws it away. Penalty flags down.
71 offense, 5-yard penalty. We'll repeat first down.
I'll tell you, this really, watch here. Here comes the motion man. Here comes Thayer. They run into each other, hit the back, the whole thing. I guess if you'd see that somewhere in highlights, you'd probably say, well, it looked like a broken play to me.
They've been working on that for weeks. Fuller takes. Pass is deflected. He was hit by Hegman as his arm started forward, so it's just an incomplete pass. Almost a fumble, but not quite. Second and goal from the 8. 12:51 left to play. Bears inside the Cowboy 10. Taking the lone safety. Fuller comes out. Chased by Downs. Sidearms it. Incomplete. Willie Galt was perhaps the intended receiver as Steve Fuller was chased by Walls and Downs.
Well, of course, I think this is what the Bears wanted to do. You see, it's a sprint out against the blitz. The Cowboys are blitzing inside. The Bears, Fuller is sprinting to the outside to get outside the rush and try and find something. I think that is also a good plan.
It was Hegman who finally got him out of bounds. Fuller is 9 out of 24 for 164 yards. He's thrown the one deflected interception, but he's done a good job. Cowboys showing blitz. Fuller on a quarterback draw. I think that was designed, and Ed Jones takes him down. It'll be fourth down now, and on comes the field goal unit. Kevin Butler. See
what Butler does. He brings in a towel. Now, kickers do that. They all carry a towel in so that the center can dry off his hands, and the holder, the quarterback, can dry off theirs. And they'll just throw it on the side. See, the kicker takes care of things like that. You know what I mean? Who's going to bring the towel? Well, the kicker brings the towel.
What else do they have to worry about?
Well, getting the ball through the uprights and bringing the towel.
Success. This one's from 22 yards away. Fuller gets the ball down, and Butler gets the ball through. And the Bears now lead 30-0. For the Dallas Cowboys today, nothing has quite fit right. Bears 30. Cowboys nothing. Fourth quarter, Kevin Butler set to kick it off. Back deep, Robert Levette, the rookie from Georgia Tech.
You know, I watched Kevin Butler kick off once, and if he kicks in the end zone, he just runs straight off the field, doesn't even cover it.
Another chapter in my book.
He doesn't really cover it ever. I just watched him win. Levette gets out to about the 23. Mike Ditka has to be pretty happy about the way things have developed today.
Well, the more points they score, the faster he chews the gum. And then the more spits you get out of it, the faster you chew it. And I tell you, these Cowboys better play a lot better next week than they are playing today, or that Philadelphia is going to be a handful for them.
They might be a handful anyway. Intended for Leon Gonzalez, incomplete. Leslie Frazier on the coverage right there.
I think these guys, these Bears, are a team that can go all the way. You know, it's tough to go, I'm talking about all the way undefeated. I mean, it's tough to go undefeated. The Miami Dolphins, of course, did it. But I watch these guys, and, you know, they can do it without their quarterback. They can do it with a guy missing here or there. I think they have too many good things to ever have a down game.
As you were saying before, they can clinch their division. It looks like they will with this victory today. But they don't seem like a team that'll have a letdown either, do they? Kent on Hogaboom. 6 sacks for the Dallas quarterbacks.
You know, that's one thing about defense and being strong defense, and part of your greatness as a team being defenses. Defensive guys usually don't get down. You know, I mean, they usually don't let up. They don't know any better. I mean, these are the guys that always go out, react, hit, rush the passer, get knocked around, knock around.
Well, you and I have talked many times about what the ingredient is that leads you to be that successful, and it usually is the most consistent thing, defense. Hogaboom has Dent looking right after him. He completes it to Gonzalez, but not nearly enough to move the sticks, and again the Cowboys will have to punt. 11 minutes left to play, and they have been just overwhelmed by the Chicago Bears.
You know, when you look at this Bear defense, it's one that is good at every level. I mean, the defensive linemen are good, the linebackers are good, and the secondary is good. It's not one that has just a good front but a little weak there, or good secondary and weak in the line. They have the whole deal going.
Horty goes back deep with the Bears, and Saxon will punt. Again, he doesn't get it all. Ortego is hammered by Jesse Penn, who is one of the few bright spots for the men in white today, the Dallas Cowboys. It's been a long day for them, and the Bears lead it 30-0. The new Bear quarterback is Mike Tomczak, the rookie free agent from Ohio State. And the Bears have high hopes for him. They think he can be a player. He has Peyton behind him. Alvin Thomas is the man in motion. Goes back to Peyton. Peyton is taken down by Michael Down. You're right about those Dallas safety men. Run shows they're up in your face in a hurry. Second down here as Tomczak gives to Peyton on the draw play, and Peyton hammers to midfield. Stopped by John Dutton.
You know, one of the things that I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about is when you get in the fourth quarter and and you have a 30-point lead, why is Walter Payton in there? Well, I think the answer is because he's a football player and there's a football game going on and you want to play. I think when you start taking it easy on guys, or guys start thinking, oh, we're ahead, I don't have to play now, I don't want to play now, you can't put them in a glass cage. I mean, They got to get out there, and real players want to play. They don't want to get off. Play, it's a game, I'll play. When the gun goes off, I'll go in and take a shower, but I'm playing.
3rd and 7, and I'm sure that's what Walter Payton wants. Gentry was the man of motion. They give to Payton a fake Statue of Liberty as Payton has plenty of room. Payton hammering down the sideline. Payton to the 20, inside the 20. Victor Scott finally got him out of bounds. I've run out of tributes.
Well, I think, Walter Payton has fun. It's a game. I mean, we talk about a game, and it should be fun. And this guy's having fun. And we're out there playing, run, get some plays. He enjoys it. He's coming off now. But guys like to play. He likes to play. And I always worry about that other guy that said, oh, get him out, don't get him hurt. He doesn't. Ain't any Christmas. It's not that kind of game.
Not just like he's getting per diem. Thomas hammers straight ahead and keeps on his feet. And into the end zone is Calvin Thomas. From 16 yards away. The Bears move further ahead. I can't remember, John, since we've been together, a more impressive performance all around.
I can't either. I mean, I think, this is complete dominance. These guys came on the field today. Defensive started it. The defense of the Bears started it. The offense kept it going once they got it going, and there was nothing that Tom Landry or the Cowboys could do about it. They've just been whipped every way there is to be whipped.
No other way to say it. Evan Butler for the extra point, with Fuller holding. Butler is good. There's still 7 minutes, 47 seconds left to play. The last time Dallas was shut out, it was against St. Louis, and that was 38-0. Now it's 37-0.
These other backs don't get that much of a chance to play with Payton and Suey, and when they do, they're determined.
With the deficit growing ever larger, Dallas look to score at least a face-saving touchdown. They have the ball at their 30-yard line. 1st down and 10.
By the way, the latest information we have on Danny White is that they did take the x-rays. They were negative, and he has a strained neck. It's not a jam neck, might be more appropriate. It's going to be sore. It's got to be tender, but it's not as serious as it looked like it could have been. What do you do on that one?
You say, put out the fire and call in the dogs. The hunt's over, and we better get ready for the Eagles.
Hogaboom's pass is picked off by Ken Taylor. Intended for Leon Gonzalez, and another turnover for the Cowboys. Number 31 is Taylor.
Ken Taylor's a rookie, and usually a rookie, when they get that interception, they're going to keep the ball. Ken Taylor got that eagle claw with the left hand put on that ball, and there's no way when you get that first interception and you're a rookie and you're playing the Cowboys, and your team hasn't beaten the Cowboys in so long no one can remember, and you get an interception, you're going to take it home.
It's been since 1971. Rookie from Oregon State is Ken Taylor. The Bears are back in business again after the 18-yard return of the interception. Gentry and Calvin Thomas are the two runners. This is Dennis Gentry. He is cut down by Steve Diassi and Michael Downs.
I think on this deal right now, probably the happiest guys have to be Walter Payton. The older guys, and Gary Fenton we're talking about, they've never beaten Dallas in their career. Say, finally we got that one. Mike Ditka, of course, who coached here for the Cowboys, has to be next. But I think that guy there probably is. I mean, he struggled for so long in Chicago and, you know, gave everything he had, and they really didn't win anything.
For years, it was only Peyton. He carried the whole load. Now they're more diversified. Here's Calvin Thomas. Down to about the 20 before Ed Jones comes down from the outside with help from John Dutton. 4 minutes remaining. 37-0. Bears over Dallas. I thought really going in that I knew the Bears were a good team, but I didn't think we'd see this kind of domination.
Well, I didn't either, especially when you get a McMahon out. But this defense is so good. I don't know that I've seen a defense this good since the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, when they had that dominance, when they were winning those Super Bowls, and they were probably the best defense that I had ever seen. And I think that this Bear defense ranks right up in that area.
That was Gentry, the ball carrier. Jesse Penn made the stop. 3:10 left to play, and the stadium is full of blue now. A lot of people have gone. Gentry, left side, touchdown Bears, 44-0, if Butler can make the extra point.
Mike Ditka's shaking his head, and he says, whatever we do works today. And I'm sure his thought right then, as we just saw that picture, was, you know, I don't want to pile up the score on this guy. I'm not doing anything. We're just running some plays, and it's happening. Tom Landry has been there so long, he knows that too. But the last thing that Mike Ditka wants is to have anyone say that he ran up a score or embarrassed Tom Landry.
You can't say that. There's no way anyone can say that.
And I know, and that's what he's thinking. But you look at the score and say, oh, 44-0.
Annihilation complete. Chicago 44, Dallas 0. The Cowboys' biggest defeat in their history, and only the second time they've failed to score in a game. From the Bears, a display that had everything. Walter Payton's fabulous running, his 33-yard pass, the refrigerator trying to carry him into the end zone, and a defense that didn't once allow the Cowboys to get further than the Bears' 38-yard line. The sort of day coaches dream about, and all achieved, remember, without starting quarterback Jim McMahon. Well, now on to the other games from Week 11, and we begin our roundup with the sad news from Washington that Joe Theismann's season came to an end on Monday night. The second play of the second quarter.
1st and 10. Riggins, Fleetflicker, back to Theismann. Theismann's in a lot of trouble. And it was Lawrence Taylor who slammed Theismann to the ground at the 42-yard line. The blitz was on. That's not necessarily a good play to have called. And quickly, Lawrence Taylor is up, saying Theismann is hurt. And I don't believe Lawrence Taylor would have reacted that way unless Theismann is really hurt.
ABC's cameras captured the moment in graphic detail. Theismann suffered a compound fracture of the right leg. After 163 consecutive games for the Redskins, this was his first serious injury. In his place came second-year backup Jay Schrader, who in true boys' own fashion completed 13 of 20 passes for 221 yards. And his first ever NFL touchdown pass couldn't have come at a better time, because it gave the Redskins victory 23-21.
So, in the circumstances, a great win for the Redskins. And the latest news on Joe Theismann is that he will be in hospital for another week at least, and in plaster for 3 months. Could this be the end of his career? Well, the Redskins doctor said this week, Joe will be back. We certainly hope so. That win for the Redskins, incidentally, means that the Giants and Dallas still share first place in the NFC East, despite their defeats this week. But Washington and Philadelphia are hot on their heels. Well, now back to the action. Tonight, we've already seen the Chicago Bears rewrite the Dallas Cowboys record book. Well, at precisely the same time, the New York Jets were making history of their own.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers 28, New York Jets 62. Eight touchdowns for the Jets as they ran up their biggest ever score and became the first team to reach the 60 mark since 1972. And would you believe it? The Buccaneers had led 14-0 in the first quarter. Miami Dolphins 34, Indianapolis Colts 20. The Colts gave the Dolphins a real run for their money. Wayne Capers providing the highlight of their afternoon with this 80-yard scoring dash. But with Dan Marino topping 300 yards for the 17th time in his short career, the Dolphins controlled the fourth quarter, and Ron Davenport's 17-yard touchdown catch wrapped it up. New England Patriots 20, Seattle Seahawks 13. 4 minutes from the end, the score 13-all. Dave Craig's deflected pass is intercepted by Patriots safety Fred Marion. Marion scampered 83 yards to set up the decisive score. Steve Grogan to Irving Fryer, and the Patriots' winning streak is now 6. Philadelphia Eagles 24, St. Louis Cardinals 14, 162 yards and a touchdown for running back Ernest Jackson. And after losing 4 of their first 5 games, the Eagles have won 5 of their last 6. Minnesota Vikings 21, Detroit Lions 41. Lions quarterback Eric Hipple, number 17, played this game with knee, rib, back and neck injuries. My body only hurts in 2 places, he said, the upper half and the lower half. 193 yards and 3 touchdown passes must have made him feel a lot better. New Orleans Saints 14, Green Bay Packers 38. The Saints' defense is one of the NFL's weakest, and against the Packers, they did nothing to improve their image. One of the Packers' touchdowns came from center Blake Moore, who lined up for this play at tight end. Los Angeles Rams 14, Atlanta Falcons 30. The Rams managed just 177 yards on offense and turned the ball over 5 times. One late score by Eric Dickerson and an even later one by Ron Brown were nothing like enough to save them from one of the shocks of the season. Kansas City Chiefs 3, San Francisco 49ers 31. The 49ers ganged up on the Chiefs with the kind of solid all-round performance that was their trademark last year. For Joe Montana, 23 of 34 passes were complete and 2 of them brought touchdowns. Buffalo Bills 7, Cleveland Browns 17. Ernest Biner has run well for the Browns all year, and in this game he totaled 129 yards and 1 score. Browns rookie quarterback Bernie Kosar threw for only 103 yards, but his fourth quarter touchdown pass to Ozzie Newsome clinched the Browns' first win in 5 games. Pittsburgh Steelers 30, Houston Oilers 7. The Oilers were held to just 56 passing yards, but not before they tried every possible way of moving the ball forward. The Steelers won at a canter, and for the long-suffering Houston fans, this season is developing into the old story. Cincinnati Bengals 6, Los Angeles Raiders 13. The Bengals met the Raiders head-on in the Coliseum. Not even the Rocket Man routine worked for Marcus Allen on this occasion. and it was only 3 minutes before time that Allen found a route to the end zone and put a stop to the Bengals' resistance. Allen's score looked as if it would be enough to put the Raiders level with Denver at the top of the AFC West, because over at the Mile High Stadium, the Broncos, a result that keeps Denver 1 game clear of the Raiders in the AFC West. And next week, the two of them meet in Los Angeles. Seattle are at San Francisco, San Diego at Houston. After 3 successive wins, Pittsburgh are back on top of the AFC Central. They're at home to Washington next week. Cleveland are at home to Cincinnati. The joint leaders of the AFC East, New England and the New York Jets, come face-to-face in the Meadowlands next week. Miami seems certain to keep up the pressure on both of them. They take on Buffalo. In the NFC East, the Giants are at St. Louis, Dallas at home to the vastly improved Philadelphia Eagles, and Washington are at Pittsburgh. Chicago, the NFC Central champions, should make it 12 wins in a row at home to Atlanta. Detroit visit Tampa Bay, Minnesota entertain New Orleans, and Green Bay go to the LA Rams. A month ago, the Rams led San Francisco by 4 games in the NFC West. Now the gap's down to 2, and if the 49ers beat Seattle next week, we'll know for sure they're back in business.
And that's it for tonight, except to give you first news of a New Year's Day sports spectacular here on Channel 4. At 11 o'clock on New Year's morning, John Smith and I will be presenting an extra American football program featuring the first round of the playoffs, the wild card games. Then, from 12:30 till 2, exclusive highlights of another of America's great sporting events, the climax to the baseball season, the World Series, played this year between the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals. 3 hours of the best in American sport on Wednesday, January the 1st, 1986, here on Channel 4. Well, the sport's not been bad tonight either, has it? The thanks for that go to the Chicago Bears. Without doubt, the team of the season so far. Until next Sunday at 6, good night.
All you gotta do is look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities are Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be found off my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few.
You eat ants?
You better believe it. You're gonna love the way they tickle. Mowgli, look out! The bare necessities of life will come to you.
But when?
They'll come to you. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life.
I give up. Well, I hope his luck holds out.
Mowgli, how about you sing? Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife.
Yeah, man.
I mean the bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life.
Yeah, man.
Oh, man, this is really living.